Welcome, everybody, to the Friar Talk podcast. Today, we're going to have guest Ryan Cohen on, and we're going to start this episode just by talking about this Manny Machado play. Definitely, apparently, it's controversial. I didn't see that initially, but Ryan, I'll let you start out, man. What did you just think about this play and just kind of how it's turned into a big deal now?
I mean, yeah, you said it. It's a big deal because of the name Manny Machado. Listen, I'll be the first one to admit, I couldn't stand him when he was a Dodger. One of my least favorite players. I didn't really love him as an Oriole either. But in 3 years as a Padre, this being his third, he's done nothing wrong. I mean, not a thing. He's been a great leader. Tatis calls him his best friend. He's donated to charities in San Diego. He's committed to the San Diego area. He's been a phenomenal baseball player, runner-up in the MVP last year, and he's been perfect in San Diego. So in the live moment last night on Sunday Night Baseball, when he gets out of the way of a tag, which is completely and totally legal, no one said a thing. In fact, the only thing they said on the broadcast, A-Rod and Matty Vasgersian, were, yep, that's a clean play. No one's going to have a problem with that. Now, when it's slowed down, you have a certain angle, it looks like, oh, he's going cleats up into him. But in the moment, when Machado is running full speed ahead and the fielder, Tommy Edman, comes into the baseline, Machado just does the first thing that comes to mind, which was get down, try to avoid the tag. And guess what? He avoided the tag. And Cronenworth wasn't thrown out at first. And they score 4 runs that inning and they win the game by 2. If that's a double play, it's probably a 1-2-3 inning, and the Padres lose the game. And then they blame Manny for not hustling. It's not a controversial play, according to every player who's played the game at the highest level. If you ask anyone on Twitter, anyone on the MLB network, on ESPN, every player, every coach, every manager is saying the same thing. That's what we teach in spring training. That's how we play the game, and Manny did it. And it wouldn't be a hot button topic at all if it was any other player on the field.
Yep, 100%. You said it perfectly. I mean, you said it 100% correct. If it wasn't Manny, if it was anyone else, then it wouldn't be a problem. But because it's Manny Machado and he has that reputation of being a dirty player, it's such a big topic. What is he supposed to do? Just let him tag him and go for the double play? Oh, now we have no runs to leave that inning with, and we, instead of a sweep, we win 2-1. No, that's just not the way to play baseball. The dude is in his path. It's the runner's base path. We've seen videos of dudes getting trucked for that. Manny has been taught to slide like that in that kind of instance. And so when he executes it to perfection, like Jace Tingler brought up in his interviews, if you haven't seen the interview, make sure you go check that out. That is, for me, the highlight of Jace Tingler's managerial career, in my opinion. Just, backing up Manny Machado for doing that. But that was not a dirty play. And maybe from an outsider's perspective, if you don't understand the context, like you don't understand baseball much, yeah, maybe it was a bit dirty. But when you take everything into consideration, he gets taught that. The dude's in his base path. He's trying to break up a double play. It's not like he went out of the way to try and take the guy out. It's a completely clean play. No matter how you look at it, it is a clean play. So, I mean, as Padre fans, maybe we'll be a little biased, but just as baseball fans, come on, that's not dirty. It's the right play to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not dirty. And anytime anything like somewhat iffy comes up with Machado, they always claim it's a dirty player. He did it intentionally, no matter what. I don't know if you guys remember. It was a couple years ago against the Diamondbacks. You remember when he was jogging down first base, he hit a pop fly in the foul territory. He dropped the bat without looking at the catcher. The announcers went straight, oh my God, he threw the bat in front of the catcher so that the catcher couldn't make the catch. Straight to that. He didn't even look in the catcher's direction or anything. They automatically assumed he did it just because of his reputation. So we wouldn't be having this conversation at all if it was any other player. None. It was a clean play. You're taught it practically out through your entire life when you play baseball. Once you get into the upper levels, you got to double play. There are ways to do it. There are ways not to do it. He did it the correct way. Nobody got hurt. He's not Chase Utling's slide into Miguel Tejada at second base and ending a career. He did a clean thing. Nobody got hurt. It was a good play. And if he continued running to second base, guess what? He would have been safe because he never got tagged. So, you know what? That's all I got to say.
I think you guys bring up a lot of good points, and I don't really understand why everyone's so upset about this. I really don't get it. And I think you're right. If it's any other player besides Machado, no one really says anything. And I'll also add, just look at Machado when he gets up. He immediately goes to Edman, makes sure he's all good, slaps him on the butt, and runs back to the dugout. And like you were saying, Matt Vasgersian, like the broadcasting crew doesn't say a single word about it, you know? So like this is something where like I don't know. I don't really see why there's so much like anger over it. And I mean I guess I do see it. It's because the guy is Manny Machado, and that's just what he's kind of had to experience. I know a lot of people talked about, hey, he's been, he's done this in the past or whatever. Since he's been in San Diego, because I can't speak for watching him day in and day out in Baltimore or LA, but since he's been in San Diego, there's been no reason to believe that he's a guy that doesn't hustle, that doesn't play really hard. Look at the game earlier this year against the Dodgers. He comes up, he walks in the top of the ninth, then steals a base, and then advances on a pass ball to third, and then gets driven in. Like he's the guy making the magic happen, and he's doing it by exactly what apparently he doesn't do, which is hustle. So I mean, a lot of the controversy with Machado, I just think is ridiculous. But I mean, I don't know. I'm happy he did it. I mean, the play won the game, so I'm all for it. I'm all for him, going in and breaking up that play, and he's not doing it like. And I mean, and even though it's not like at second base, it's a little bit before, he rolls and tries to get away and not really like affect Edman, just besides trying to avoid the tag. You see plays, especially, I mean, I've seen him this year on Tatis, and I've never felt like the guy was being dirty, but I've seen him where the guy comes flying into second base and Tatis gets flipped up in the air. I mean, I think there was a play earlier this year where that happened, and he ended up like throwing an error because of it. And it would have been like, if you're just looking at both of them, one of them is there's way more contact, there's way more physicality in that when they're going into second base. So to act like he's like maliciously trying to hurt Edman, it's definitely not the case. And you see the Cardinals players, they're not reacting, they're not getting upset at Machado. There's no anger or anything. So I think that's where we kind of stand on that.